Greetings, Cleveland. This is TV20's Spotlight. I'm your host, Cornell Calhoun III, and today we spotlight the voyage of Cleveland to Ghana. And here to tell us more about this exciting journey is Cleveland's own Dr. Yvonne Pointer. Ms. Pointer, welcome to Spotlight.
Oh, I'm so glad to be here. You know, I love everybody here at TV20.
And we love you. So let's get right into it. I looked on your website and I saw that North Coast to the Gold Coast, and I couldn't help but smile because when I was a little boy, my father used to always talk about he was going to the Gold Coast, and I was like, where's he going? Where's he going? And you know, that was the 105 district, you know, and it just brought back a lot of memories for me. So are you ready for this historic trip?
Yes, this will be my fourth time going to Ghana. As a matter of fact, a lot of people been selective criticizing me, like, well, why is she doing work in Ghana? And those individuals may not know the work that I'm doing here. But over in Ghana, we have schools and we have orphanages, we have a church, we have a senior center. It's almost like a little village. We have a doll house, a library. And so I'm real excited to be able to take, it's 30 of us going on this trip.
I was going to ask you how many are going.
30. The last trip it was 22, so it's 30 people going.
So this is your fourth trip there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So before we get into the trip and the aspects of it, for those who may not know, tell the audience what the connection is between you and Ghana. I know a lot of people, most people know, but for the viewers who may not know, just give a brief history of that.
Well, on December 6, 1984, my 14-year-old daughter, Gloria Pointer, was abducted, sexually assaulted, and murdered. Her case remained unsolved for 29 years. But it was during that time that God allowed me to pick up the mantle of activism. And one thing was that there was a boy in Africa that found a piece of paper on the ground about Gloria's homicide. And he wrote me from Ghana to say, I'm sorry to hear about the murder of your girl child. I'm like, what? So the long story short, we began a relationship between myself and him where he actually started in Africa an organization in memory of Gloria called the Gloria Pointer Teen Movement. And so after 5 years of me supporting that organization, they invited me to come over. I went over. That's when I won that award from Queen Latifah, and I used that money to go. And I was just touched to do more. And so that's when we began the process of building the first school in her memory there.
So now you have 4 schools, and there's an orphanage.
2 orphanages.
Two orphanages.
Yes. There's a library, there's a gardens. We purchased chickens. You know, you buy these little baby chicks and they grow up and lay eggs, and then that helps to feed the villagers. So yes, it's a great work going. And this organization or this group that's going this time, I am almost certain that once they come back, their lives are going to be transformed, and they'll be empowered to even do something on the Gold Coast.
So why do you say this is more than just a voyage, this trip to Ghana?
Well, because so many of us have forgotten, Mr. Calhoun, that if it were not for our ancestors, those who survived, those who refused to die, we wouldn't be here with what we have. Some of us think, oh, we're like doing all these wonderful things by ourselves. But had it not been for them. So I think that we have an obligation to give back, to help back. And so I just think, and to go back, to give back and to go back.
And what is the true mission of Cleveland to Ghana, would you say?
Well, we're going to expose, because we have some students going with us this time, and we're going to expose them. We're going to do collaborations between our students and their students. See, students over there are so less fortunate in the school system. So we want to show our students, whether CMSD or local students, how they can get involved with making education affordable and better for the students in Ghana. As a matter of fact, I'm taking a suitcase filled with nothing but ink, pens, and pencils, because those are luxuries.
Those are luxuries there, huh? And what do you consider? What would you consider bringing? Would you consider bringing the people from Ghana to Cleveland at any point?
Absolutely. But I got to tell you something. They have something I think that they can teach us. A lot of times we look at the fact that they're still in the villages. Maybe they don't have electricity and running water, but they have love that surpasses anything that you could ever imagine. They don't have the crime rates that we have. So if I could bring them here, they might, even with all of our luxuries, even with all of our plenty, they still might see that we're lacking.
You know, I did some research, and that's like about a 15 to 19 hour flight, 5,000 miles away. So what do you do on the plane during all that time?
Well, in actuality, there's a shorter flight. You can do it 8 hours.
You can do 8 hours?
8 hours from New York to Ghana. Now, when I first went, it was about 18 hours because we didn't do direct flights. We went to Amsterdam and here and there. So this one is a direct flight from New York to Ghana. Now you got to remember, that's short comparison to when I went to Australia.
Right,
that was 23 hours in the air.
23 hours in the air.
4 hours from Cleveland to Texas, 17 hours from Texas to Australia, and 4 hours from Australia to New Zealand.
What is your favorite thing to do in Ghana when you're not, doing your work?
Well, my favorite thing to do is to intermingle with the precious children because they are so wonderful and so loving. But this trip is a little symbolic because when we go to the village of Antonqua, I will be named the Queen Mother of the village. And it's going to be a huge ceremony surrounding that. Now, I only mention it because I'm thinking that's a pretty big deal.
No, I was going to mention it anyway. You just took one of my questions. So tell us more about that. So what does the term Queen Mother mean there?
Well, of course, there's chiefs of the village. Mm-hmm. So the Queen Mother is second to the chief. So she might be the vice president. As a matter of fact, I was telling one of the people that's going with me, Grady Stevenson, he's going to go, he and his wife and granddaughter. And I said, okay, you can bow down now. Joking with him. So that's really exciting. To be named Queen Mother, and I don't know what all that means. Mm-hmm. I can almost tell you it's going to be some financial responsibility attached to it. Oh, the Queen Mother will do it. And so I'm excited on one hand, and they're a little apprehensive on the other.
Talk about some of the students who, what schools are they from? Do they attend?
The students that's going
on the trip.
Well, Bob Ivory, who has works with students outside of Cleveland, CMSD, he's taking students. And then we have Dr. Robin Simmons from CMSD, who was taking some students, and their trip got delayed, and we're going to take them back in April. So we have some students from CMSD that's going to go with us. And we have the students from Warrensville, I think, in Richmond Heights that's going to go.
So is Logan going with you?
Logan was scheduled to go, but she's going to go with April because
you have another trip in April?
Yeah, for CMSD students. They were scheduled to go in this trip, but then there were some complications, which we won't talk about, but it's been delayed until April.
So what organizations, are there any organizations that are help sponsoring the trip?
That's a good question, because people can donate. People can give. We have United Black Fund that helps sponsor the travel for the children from Cleveland to Washington, because the trip does not include that. You have to get to Washington, D.C. And so United Black Fund sponsored that. We have Margaret Bernstein, who raised enough money to send 2 people to Ghana.
From Channel 3.
Yeah, isn't that wonderful?
That is wonderful.
And so you've got people that may not realize that they can contribute, they can help. Mr. Calhoun, did you know that you can feed an entire village for $50, 1 bag of rice? See, they don't have, like me and you, chicken, dressing, spaghetti, roast. No, they might just have a bowl of rice and be content. So I tell people, if you would like to donate anything, you can buy a bag of rice. Did you also know that the teachers in our village, they make $40 a month? Wow. So we've started a campaign where I've asked my friends, would you sponsor a teacher's salary? So that means you give me $40 and you've paid their salary for a whole month. Now I gotta tell you, I don't know anybody in America that will work for a whole week and then you hand them $40 at the end. They might hit you in the head with that $40. So we want to empower people here in America to know that even with the small amount that you have, you can still be a blessing to somebody that's less fortunate.
So if somebody wanted to donate, where should they go? Is there a website?
Yes, my website, www.yvonnepointer.com, and then there's a button that you can click to donate on
say
there.
That one more time.
www.yvonnepointer.com.
Okay, and we'll put that on the screen.
And
so
when I
people
tell
know.
you, when we take these students, take these travelers to the Elmina slave dungeon, where you will have the experience of what our ancestors felt when they were snatched from the village and sold into slavery. And I've been in that tour, and people have literally passed out, just overwhelmed by the thought of what happened those centuries ago. And then we're going to do a sunrise ceremony on the beach right outside of the slave castle, right in the rising of the sun. And we're going to really just kind of plug into our ancestors, and it's beautiful. Then they all provide us with a fruit and an orange or apple or whatever, and you cast that into the ocean in memory. Oh, it's an incredible ceremony.
And so this is October the 6th through October the 16th.
Yes.
See, I did my research.
And if somebody might say, well, look, I want to go. Well, we're going back again in spring. So you just reach out to me and we can make it happen. And people might say, well, I can't afford to go. No, you can't afford not to go.
Now, what are you going to bring me back from Ghana?
I like that tie that you have on. Maybe I'm going to try to mimic that. Or either we will make sure we get something back for TV20 and Mr. Capital.
And Miss Kathy Allen.
Oh, we got to take care of Kathy. We love her.
Well, we want to make sure you come back and get pictures and take some video.
We will.
So we can show everybody.
I didn't tell you, Joy Billups is going.
Yeah, Joy Billups. He told me he was going.
Joy Billups is going, and he will have his camera.
Okay.
So we're going to have a lot of footage.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for being on the show.
I appreciate it. I thank you so much for having me. And you're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you. You are a treasure. You are a treasure.
God be the glory.
So that's it, Cleveland. I'm Cornell Hubert Callum III for TV20 Spotlight. And this Spotlight is out.